What's new? It's Blue. Hello, I'm back. I hope you guys missed me. Okay, I'm being so annoying. But anyways, we're in for a good one today. A good one. I was recently on a nostalgia kick and I went back to one of my original art inspirations, Oliver's Antics, and I was remembering how much I loved his series where he would introduce these characters and it was like all about my OCs and he would talk about them. So it'd be like all about, for example, Andy, who was one of his OCs. I think Andy's video was the first one, but either way, I love Oliver's Antics. And so this is very much like inspired by that. I grew up watching his videos, which might sound kind of dramatic, but girl, I did. And yeah, so I really think that the way he did it, it's such like a nice and, you know, cool way of introducing one's OCs. So obviously I'm gonna kind of add my own spin to it, but that's definitely the inspo. And one thing about me, you'll never catch me lacking. I'm not claiming any ideas as my own thing. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a crack. So I have too many OCs, so I'll definitely take it like one OC world at a time, because as I've said millions and millions of times, we know this by now, I love making OC worlds. I build like a plot and then characters. I'm not like a character first type of person. So the next couple of videos will be the main characters of this world. The name is still being workshopped, but for now, just know that these are the Dog Days characters. Dog Days well, the first thing that popped into my mind is the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. Dog Day Dog Days. Oh my goodness, Dog Days. And then the song Dog Days Over by Florence and the Machine, because I love Florence and the Machine. I am planning to do like something really fun for 1K. So for 1K I was thinking I could do one of those like drawing my subscribers OCs like video. So let me know if you guys are interested in that kind of thing and how you'd want to like send in OCs if you have them. So anyways, let's get into this. So today we're starting off with Fumi. Dog Days, it wasn't called that at the time, so I made like my first actual OCs like from my mind, my own idea, which are like my superhero OCs, who are now my magical girl OCs. So they were technically my first OCs, but this group, my Dog Days group, were my like basically second batch of OCs, and like I gave them a story and everything. So I made them after I started getting into anime, and after watching anime I felt like, you know what, I have to make a story. I have to, like, I can't just not make a story. I have to do this. So basically I made, it was looking back, you know what, cringe is dead. It is cringe, but I love that it was cringe. Basically I just made like the most insane story. I'll probably delve into like what the old plot used to be at some point, but I don't want to delve into it too much because obviously I've workshopped it heavily over the years. Even now I'm not super sure about the plot, which is also why I wanted to talk about them first, so I can maybe hammer out the plot and get some ideas, like, you know, get the juices flowing and whatnot. But yeah, and like I would literally use archetypes to build characters. So, like, some of the characters from this batch, when I get to her I'll definitely mention it. One of them, when I found out what a yandere was, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make a yandere character. And she was just casually a yandere. I cannot, please, it's so unserious. It was actually very unserious of me, but either way, now I'm trying to, like, I've made them like normal and fleshed out more, but I don't draw them super often, so this is also fun. It's an excuse for me to draw them. So we're starting off with Fumi, and again, their names might be kind of like weird because I literally would just like take names from anime characters that I liked around the time. So obviously then they're Japanese, because my OCs, obviously, like ethnicity wise, they're inspired by the various countries, because I want to be respectful, and it also again gives me a nice base to give people just cultural wise, appearance wise. So I like doing that. But again, in my OC worlds, I don't necessarily use real life locations. So obviously looking at them and their names and stuff, it's like, yes, they're based off like, you know, the Japanese region of the world, but within the story like it won't be called like Japan or Tokyo or something like that. I'll give them different names as I do with all of my places. Something random, kind of like how in Steven Universe they call, like, it's like Beach City, Rainy Town. There's not a place called Rainy Town. I have a world called Rainy Town. I'm just talking nonsense right now. Plot. So the plot right now is, as I mentioned before, definitely a work in progress. The old plot, I don't want to get into it in case there's still some spoilers sprinkled in there, because over the years I've like taken away bits or changed bits or tweaked things and made them different. So I don't want to get into it because it might be like a spoiler in case I ever decide to do something with this story one day. Though some of my other worlds, if you guys have seen like my OCs, Lily and Fern, those two are from like my favorite world, the world that I favoritize the most, the world that I put my most time into. That world, I'm probably not going to talk about them for ages and ages, because that world I'm actually very serious about. Like that show like my ultimate castle in the sky, be making that a show somehow. But that's me being very ambitious. But you know what, let me not dog on my own aspirations. But yeah, I'm very serious about that one. This world, I feel more comfortable talking about it because it's still a work in progress. I love the OCs obviously, but I'm not like too gatekeepy about it, you know. So I don't mind talking about it, but I still don't want to completely reveal everything. So the plot right now for Dark Days, just as usual, starting off with the base of the loose time period that it's based off of, very loosely, you know, not too much. So it's very much like 90s 2000s type of vibes. Like in their mood boards, each of them I included like a flip phone just for funsies, you know, I don't know. So yeah, so obviously loosely based 90s 2000s, set in Tokyo. Or I can find another major city that I want to base it off of, but I just wanted to go with the city vibe specifically. So the loose plot at this point in time, Fumi, the MC, basically, she's not the only main C, she's just like the first one that, if it was a comic or story, that we would meet. So Fumi's moved now from the countryside. Her life has been a bit turbulent in terms of going up and down, up and down. Her parents, unfortunately, died in a car crash. You know I had to do it to him. When she was about 15, 14. So from there, being 15, she moved away to another country to where one of her aunts was, her mom's sister. And she stayed there. And the mom's sister is Tristan's mom, who's another one of my OCs. So those two are cousins. Fumi and Tristan are cousins. And I made them cousins because at one point in time in 2019, those two were all that I was drawing, and at the time their designs were much different. Well, Fumi's design never really changes, like through the ages. Like whenever I do a sketchbook tour, you'll probably be able to see, like, especially old sketchbooks, Fumi's base, she's never changed too much. But either way, and they looked the same at that point in time. Like Tristan looked a lot like Fumi, and I was like, oh, I love them both so much, and I was drawing them so much, and I was like, I have to make them related somehow because they can't just not be related. So I made their mothers twin sisters because it's my world and I can do what I want. So yeah, so they're cousins, so she went and stayed with them. So when I talk about Tristan's OC world, Fumi will come up there as well because she played a big part there. So then now she went to school there and everything, and she moved back to quote-unquote Japan. I need to come up with a name for it, but for the city I was thinking of calling it like Streetlight Junction, something like that. I thought that would be a bit goofy, you know, nothing too specific. But yeah, I'll drop your ideas in the comments on what you would name it, like what kind of like fake name, like how I've mentioned this before, but I really like that, which is why it was Steven Universe that made me think of doing that with like my places where my OC stay. So like instead of like an actual place, calling it like something random like Beach City, that's very vague, you know, but it also, you can also kind of infer where it is, that kind of thing. So drop any ideas that you may have in the comments. Anyways, so from her cousin's place she moves back to quote-unquote Japan, and then she stays in the countryside, or more the countryside. Again, I need to decide where. I need to look at a map and be specific about it because I just like little details like that. Stays in the countryside with her auntie, this time her dad's sister. So In my mind, just for years, the aunt has always been Aunt Yumi, but I may change her name, who knows. So she stays with her aunt for a little bit, and at this point, maybe she's like 17. So she's been all over the map, poor Fumi. And now she moves up to the city alone for a change in scenery for her final year of high school. Because I googled it, in Japan, the final year of high school is 16, but it's kind of similar to the Cambridge thing, where like you can finish school at 16, but if you want to do like your A-levels and whatnot, you finish it at 18, or like the IAB system where you finish school at 18 with grade 12, that kind of thing. So she's going to do her final, her grade 12, her senior year, her A-levels, whatever you want to call them, now in the city, in quote-unquote Tokyo. I still don't know what to call it. But so it's when she moves there that she then, like, where the plot starts gearing up, right? So upon moving to Tokyo, Fumi is quite an optimistic person. So she's just going about her day with the school thing, and then she ends up meeting this girl who's one of her classmates, who's quite like prickly, almost like, not like malicious and mean, but just like, you know, someone who has their guard up. So, and like Fumi kind of is not great at reading social cues, but I'll get into that when I talk about Fumi herself, not just the plot. So she just really likes this girl, so they just like stick together. And then the girl has some older siblings who are out of school now, like they finished high school because they're a bit older than her, so they're like 20, 21. And they're like, so their family is rich, right? So Fumi then unknowingly gets involved with the kids of this rich family. Not that the kids are like strange in any way, but unbeknownst to them, their mother has gang affiliations, and they didn't know this. So like, I still need to decide an event. I'm still hammering out the plot of the story, but this is just the basic plot, guys. So one day, the four of them find themselves together. Fumi, the girl, and the girl's siblings, right? I'm gonna gatekeep the names, actually, I changed my mind. And like, they find themselves in a tough position. I need to decide what that tough position is. Whether it's seeing something that they shouldn't have, or running into something that they shouldn't have, speaking to someone that they shouldn't have, something like that. So, the gang affiliations thing, let me just address that. I was like, because originally in the original plot, I did want that, like, their family, the rich family that I'm talking about, to have some kind of power, right? And in my original thing, there was a lot of like very shonen-esque action, and I was like, okay, how can I realistically incorporate this action somehow, you know, especially given the setting? So I'm like, we can make it something like gang related, you know, some Yakuza type stuff. Obviously, I still need to do research on it. I don't just want to be throwing around, ooh, Yakuza, because this is serious stuff, you know. So I actually do want to do as much research as I can on it, but this is just loose plot for now. So their mom is involved with this, and they never really knew about it, but they're just rich. So I need to decide what exactly she does that they're so rich. And she's like a matriarch. Like, their father was pretty absent, and then he died. And another character who is also part of the siblings, but she's their half sibling because her dad had a child out of wedlock. Obviously, the mom wasn't happy about that. But that's for that character's video. She's also one of the mains, so there are 5 mains in the story. So anyways, they get involved with this, and then I also saw the other day, literally like a month ago maybe, a video essay on YouTube talking about those Sukeban girl gangs that were like a plague in Tokyo, I think. Yeah, in Tokyo and Shibuya and places like that, where there would just be hordes and hordes of teenage girls just beating each other up, running around, hitting people. Like, that's so slay. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, come on, let's be for real. That's so cunt. I'm sorry, it's cunt, but anyways. So I was like, ooh, I can incorporate that in somehow. So I'm like, okay, maybe a rival gang to the family, right? That's who they see something that they're not supposed to see. And then after this gang is like, okay, you have 2 options. Since y'all fit the description, you can infiltrate these Sukeban girl gangs for us and be double agents. So I thought that would be cool. So now it also kind of has like mystery, that aspect of you're lying to people, that aspect of potential found family, but I will also do more research on the Sukuban girl gangs, you know, about what they were like in there, because I don't want to make it seem like a girlhood thing, and then it actually turns out, well, either way, I'm sure it wasn't great, like you know what I mean, whatever. But anyways, yeah, so that's the loose plot right now. And then poor Fumi ends up getting involved in this by mistake, really. She just wanted to make a friend. Turns out the friend had links to the to the underground world of crime in Street Like Junction, which is just her luck, actually. Imagine your luck being that bad. But anyways, and she can't exactly be like, oh no thanks, you know, because you were there. So now she's involved. So now it'd be them sort of learning how this gang works and getting into the groove of it, that type of thing. So yeah, that's the plot as I have it right now. So obviously I've said it like a trillion billion times. I'm still workshopping it. I actually re-recorded the segment so I could sound more coherent, because I don't think you understand. The first time that I recorded, I was like, no girl, this is making no sense. I was all over the place. So I hope this is more structured. It's the neurodivergency fighting me, because I keep going off on side tangents. But anyways, that's what y'all are here for anyhow. So yeah, now we're going to talk about Fumi as a character. Her as Fumi, because she's a sweet baby angel and I love her. So yeah, so Fumi, I love her so much. Like, as I mentioned before, unfortunately I don't draw this batch of characters super often, but whenever I do, I really enjoy it. So like, Fumi is probably one of my faves in the batch. When I get to my other fave, I'll definitely mention it. You'll know when I get to my other fave. So Fumi is, let's just go over basic stuff. Her pronouns are she, her. She's ace and demi-romantic because I said so, and she's 5'10", she's quite tall. Her style has always been pretty just like alt. I hesitate to say goth. I wouldn't say goth exactly, but it's just always been kind of weird, I guess. Like, for the past couple of years, like the first time that I drew her wearing this kind of like sweater dress design thing, I haven't changed it. Even now, like when I was redesigning her just like for this video so I could be like happy with how she looks, I couldn't force myself to part with the sweater thing. It's just weird seeing her in anything else. I can't imagine her in jeans or like a normal top or anything like that. So her style has always been a bit weird, but I wanted to integrate sort of like ghetto elements because she's in her last year of school, so they will have uniforms. So which is why in the speed paint, as you can see, there's like the normal outfit, which has like the most, you know, blown up image, and then there's the little one for the school uniform. So how she wears her school uniform would definitely be in a more core gyaru way, which is basically like gyaru that's like for gakko, like school girls. So I'll definitely insert some pictures of what I'm talking about to give you like the vibes, like especially like heavy on the slouch socks, the way that they would wear their skirts, stuff like that. So Fumi's 18 in her final year of school, 5'10", she, her, ace and demi-romantic. And so that'll definitely come up, her being demi-romantic thing in all of her stories, not as a problem, but rather just as a realization, because she doesn't necessarily have the verbiage for it, but that's how, like, because she's always been like that just as a character. And in recent times, as I've learned more about like ace people obviously being president of the company and aromantic people especially, I've like learned more verbiage for stuff, and that makes a lot of things make sense for also my characters and just myself in general. But anyways, so that comes into her story with how she relates to one of the other characters, where there's like sort of like a slow burn thing going on, but either way we'll get into that. And her full name, I probably should have said this first, but anyways, her full name is, I changed it. It used to be Fumihiro, which I fully stole from a character, but then I realized that name was more masculine. Not that there's any problem with that, but see, I also wanted to just see, like, this is what I saw this meme and I was like, I'm not a girl, but it was like girls when they can't like fully understand like the context of other literature things or cultures, whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's just some cultural things that you can't research, you know. It's like, how do people name their kids in Japan? I feel like there's a way that they do it versus me just googling and going onto those baby name sites and picking the name that sounds the best. I feel like there's a better way to do it, but anyways. But so it used to be Fumihiro, but that one is like a dude's name, which again, I don't know. There are probably some girlies there, who have dude names, whatever that means, but whatever. So I changed her name to Fuyumi, and that also just matches a bit better because it's like Fuyumi means like winter beauty, winter child. So her surname is Kohinata, so it's Kohinata Fuyumi. Fuyumi, winter child. She was born in like I think around January. I decided that she's a Pisces because I also just wanted something to base the tattoos that she has off of, because she has some tattoos. She's always just been, and she's like clearly the most pierced up, as you can tell. Like she's always just had a lot of piercings, which is what I mean. Like she's always been like a little bit alt-ish, and like I just emphasize them more, especially since I started getting piercings myself. I focus on how ears look, so all of my OCs, I curate their piercings very specifically because I think too much about these things. So yeah, so that's basic info out of the way. I hope I wasn't rambling there, yep-ish and all that, but either way. So those are Fumi's basic characteristics. Then just her as a person. Fumi's like what I like to call like my little airhead. I love airhead characters, guys, just in general, in other media, in my own media. Fumi's just an airhead, and I love that about her. But she's also very optimistic. But also, another reason why why recently I've decided to start giving my OCs zodiac signs is to help me flesh them out more characteristically. I was like, using the Pisces thing, we can talk about this thing of like optimism, aspiration versus delusion, that kind of thing, or when optimism can be like used as a shield for facing how your situation is right now. So I imagine that can be Fumi's conundrum, because she really tries to be happy. She really does, and she is quite a happy person despite the stuff that she's had to go through, like losing her parents at a very young age. But like really that time that she spent with her cousin and her aunt really helped, though it was difficult at first because obviously her aunt being like her mother's twin, they look literally very similar. So that was kind of like hard at first, but not something that she's come to appreciate. Her cousin as well, and the friends that he had, like he had a very close group of friends when she moved there, and she just had a lot of community at the time, so that helped her remember that she wasn't alone, and that it's not like her parents were like gone, they're still there, and the memories that she has and all of that. So that's something that she had to come to terms with. So just as like a rule of life, she does try to be optimistic and positive. She's that find a silver lining person, cup half full, that kind of thing. So now when she moves back, there is a bit of that like loss because she doesn't have the support group anymore. All the friends that she had before the accident, obviously everyone's gone their separate ways. I was in a different region of the country already. So it's fully just not culture shock because that's where she's from, but like it's just really a new beginning, which is also strange because it's like your home, but it's a new beginning in home. It's like that's something she's trying to reconcile within herself, And also just like coming back, she's optimistic. She's a bit more extroverted. Like if she really likes someone, she'll want to hang out with them. She gets friend crushes on people a lot, that kind of thing. And when she meets this girl that I was telling you about, the prickly girl whose video will be next, I'll probably like do a face reveal of her at the end of this video. I don't know, we'll see. Or maybe I'll decide to gatekeep until the next one. But her, like when she meets her, she's someone who's very prickly at first, and I imagine it'll be hard for me to not take that personally, which can also be a sort of like barrier in their relationship before like they come to an understanding between each other. Like Fumi learning that, okay, I can't necessarily like force everyone to be the way I am, and then this girl realizing that sometimes you have to like take down these walls because then they just like hurt people unnecessarily. So that's kind of Fumi's whole thing, She's just trying to have good vibes, and now she's involved with the mafia. Just her luck. So yeah, I needed to then decide what kind of roles that they'll be having within the gang and stuff like that. But that's Fumi as a character. And again, I'd mentioned that this is inspired by Oliver's antics, and I wouldn't want to like you know, go so far as to literally, well, not, I don't copy the format of his like how he, the questions that he asks, commonly asked questions. So that is one thing I'd like to integrate, like your guys' Q&As about whatever characters that I have. So that it means maybe posting them beforehand on my community post. Then you guys can ask whatever questions you have, and then I'll answer them in the video. So for the next one, maybe I'll do that, you know. So whatever questions are there, if it's 1 or 2, I'll answer those in the next girl's video. So I will drop her at the end of this video. But in his videos, he'll include like a meme to describe the character, like a vine to describe them. I won't do that, but I will include a bonus speed paint of a meme that I feel fits them, and I will redraw it with them, and that will suffice. So that was today's video, the first one in my Meet the OCs series. This week's one was Fumi, and as a little teaser, next week's video will be about Hikari. She is, yay, there's a picture here probably on screen. Yay, I love her too. She's my little mean lesbian, love her. But yeah, so I'll also make a community post where you guys can drop any questions that you want me to answer for her video. I feel bad for Fumi because I love her so. Again, it's common for my favoritism. Whenever there's like a character, my own or otherwise, that I favor, I always forget like stuff about them that could be like really nice. But anyways, drop any questions that you have about Hikari in the comments, and I'll answer them in her video, and that'll be really fun. So I'll also make a community post so you can comment here or on there. It'll be fun, it'll be a goof, so let's enjoy that, I guess. So that was today's video. I really hope you enjoyed the speed paint, and I hope you understand a bit more about their world. Again, the plot is kind of all over the place a little bit, but I am hammering it down, and as this series goes and as time goes, maybe I'll come back to you guys with like an update. So it'll be the main 5s, and then I'll do one big video for the side characters. Also, there'll be some character design in that one because I still need to design some of them, but very fun stuff. So next couple of videos will be the OC apocalypse, which is why I was so excited for it. If you look at my community posts, I was busy scaring people over there, acting like something horrible is about to happen. No, I'm just excited because I love my OCs so much. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, as these go, the formatting will get better and better. So it's been in my past couple of videos, but I just wanted to audibly address it. The link to Operation Olive Branch, it's like a big master doc with a bunch of resources and like families that you can donate to. It's not just for Palestine perb, it's for like also Congo and stuff. So that was me trying to do Ferb Latin, by the way. Remember that episode of Phineas? Oh my goodness, stay on track. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Like, I literally just went on a tangent. Anyways, for the Operation Olive Branch master doc is in the description of all my videos. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So look there. If you can donate, donate. If you can't donate, fair enough. Share the link around like what I'm doing, because I have no money to my name. I am broke, so I can't do anything, which I feel really bad about sometimes. So what you can do, share, tell people about it. Use audios that you can, whatever, on TikTok and stuff like that. Do what you can, and make sure that you as a person just stay informed about what's going on. Again, on my Instagram, I have highlights where I just like try to post recent information from various sources: Palestine, Sudan, Congo, because there's so many horrible things happening in the world. But the not horrible part is how people have been banding together. It makes one feel a lot less alone, so that's very important. So yeah, look forward to next week's video, and it's so nice to be back. I actually missed making videos. Like during my like little break, I wouldn't call it a hiatus, during my little break, I was just twiddling my thumbs. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? I was really excited planning this video, so hope you guys really liked it, and yeah, I'll see you again next week. Bye.